Good morning, sir. I'm Eirene Mary Saji, currently pursuing my MSW at Kristu Jayanti College, Bangalore. As part of my course curriculum, I'll be interviewing my guest for the day, Mr. David Raju. Welcome, sir. Mr. David Raju is the head of the Human Resource Department at Dassault Reliance Aerospace Limited, Nagpur. Sir has over 2 decades of diverse industry experience in manufacturing, retail, telecommunications, express logistics, financial services, and defense and aerospace sectors. Today, in this interview, we will be talking about how rewards and recognitions are being implemented in the corporate sectors. So, to start, sir, could you please share your experience in the field of HR?
Right. Thank you, Irene, for this opportunity. It's always pleasure talking to young minds. In my experience of over 2.5 decades in the human resource management, I have had an opportunity to interact with the many types of workforces, as you rightly mentioned about my background industry. So the rewards and recognition plays a very key role in any kind of workforce when you're addressing the workforce requirement in terms of motivation, in terms of recognition, in terms of creating the sense of belongingness, so to speak. So the rewards and recognition has a very important role. More specifically, when your workforce is more young, if you have a millennials in your workforce, the need for recognition becomes little critical.
Okay.
When you have more of boomers who are now little the age perspective or different motivation factors, recognition or the rewards may not motivate them much. But when you have a more of a millennial workforce, the motivation in terms of rewards and recognition plays a major role. So that sense, this is rewards and recognition, one of the key function in managing, and it also plays a role in retaining the talent,
Okay.
not just motivating them, retaining the talent for the long-term perspectives. So
Okay.
in a nutshell, it has a very key role in managing the human resources.
Okay. Could you tell us about the types of rewards and recognition that your company offers?
Yes, the rewards per se, I will tell you about concept. Then what we do in in our company, I'll also tell.
Yes.
Rewards basically can be monetary or non-monetary.
Mm-hmm.
The both have its own advantages and disadvantages.
Mm-hmm.
The monetary stuff, when it is a workforce, is in the shop. When it comes to the manufacturing, the shop floor workforce will
Mm-hmm.
have a more weightage for the monetary benefits. But when you're looking at executive levels and the managerial levels, the monetary may not have much of an impact, but the non-monetary recognition and the rewards will have a more of an impact. So in that sense, we do have a both monetary and non-monetary the types of rewards in our case.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to the workmen, the shop floor operators,
Mm-hmm.
definitely we do a lot of monetary benefits. And also when it comes to the managerial, we more focus on the non-monetary. So for them, recognition is more important than the reward. But when it comes to the workman level, the reward is more important along with the recognition.
Okay.
So what I do in my case is that I do have an award called a
Okay.
spotlight award. As
Mm-hmm.
and when an employee performs the out of the way performance in a
Mm-hmm.
given situation, we give most spotlight award. This award is the mostly non-monetary.
Okay.
It's the kind of we give a greeting card, a pat on the back. We call the small meeting of the zone team members, maybe
Okay.
10 to 12 people or 15 people max. Among in front of them, we recognize him or her, and we give a small token of an appreciation manager. So that's instantaneously you have done something right now. Before the end of your shift, you get that reward. So that's what we call the spotlight.
Right.
And on a monthly basis, we also have something called a Shining Star.
Okay.
We have an award called a Shining Star, which we on a monthly basis we consistently monitor the
Mm-hmm.
performance and the behavior of the individual.
Mm-hmm.
We have a set of criterias. Those who meet the criterias, we take the nominations from the respective the reporting managers, and we
Mm-hmm.
evaluate. There is a small committee who evaluates the nominations just to ensure the uniformity of recognition across the organization. The
Mm-hmm.
role of this committee is just only to moderate, not to discount everything per se, just to moderate. And we give the Shining Star Award. That's in a monthly. This has got a both non-monetary in terms of appreciation, a certificate of appreciation, and also have a monetary benefit.
Okay.
So 1,500 a coupon, a gift coupon for the employee, you will get it. And then on long-term basis, an annual basis,
Mm.
we also have the annual performance award, which
Okay.
also those who perform consistently, not only just on a movement or just for a 1 month, or most of the time who consistently perform, we give a good award of an annual reward. It has gotten a good recognition. We have an annual gathering, so such people in front of our whole company crowd been called down to the stage, given a trophy, a certificate, and a monetary benefit. And also we sponsor a dinner along with the CEO.
Okay.
CEO will have a dinner with those people. So that's
Mhm.
a kind of building the sense of belongingness and the sense of pride even to the family. And there is also another award adding to this. I also do. We call the family for dinner.
Okay.
So we involve the family members. So as a family, because see, an individual comes and performs in a day, a family pays a price because the children miss the dad. The
Yeah.
wife has to sacrifice taking care of the children. So there is a little bit of indirect contribution in his own performance or her own performance.
Mhm.
So we also call family members to offline location, probably in a 5 star and a 4 star hotel,
Mhm.
along with the CEO, they have a dinner. So
Mhm.
that goes a long way in building the sense of pride and sense of belongingness among the employees. So these are the various types of the rewards we give. There's one more thing I want to mention here.
Yes.
The When I give a non-monetary benefits, I have a point system.
Okay.
Okay, so every the spotlight award person gets, he or she gets a certain points, and when they accumulate certain number of points, let's say 100 points, and we give some sort of a token and a gift voucher for every 100 points. So in a long run, they also get, they look forward. This kind of an approach promotes the consistency. It's not that
Okay.
one time you do a better job and you get an award and go move on, but no, but we give kind of the point system so that people look forward. When they accumulate points, they know that they're going to get something. So that's where we do a point system as well. The lastly, as I said, retention perspective, I do have a strong monetary retention bonuses
Mhm.
to the people who are critical, who are in a high performance and high potential people. We
Mhm.
do have a system to identify that.
Mhm.
So when such people are there, we do pay a retention bonus. So
Mhm.
that's over and above the agreed CTC. So that
Okay.
makes a lot of sense for them to continue with the organization. So these are
Okay.
the kind of rewards and recognitions that we have identified.
That's really nice to hear. It keeps the employees motivated to do their best. Could you also tell us who oversees the administration and implementation of the rewards and recognition part?
See, naturally, the process owner for this whole process is the head of HR, right?
Okay.
He is the process owner because he is the one who defines the policies, defines the criteria, defines the guidelines to implement such rewards scheme. But there's also to bring in more of sense of ownership from the line managers and the respective the heads of the department. We have a small committee
Mhm.
who gets involved in a monthly basis to evaluate and oversee the implementation to ensure the fairness and also, as I mentioned in my opening remarks, to moderate, to ensure the uniformity across the organization. And this committee keep changing every once in 2 years. And
Okay.
there's, I mean, it depends on the organization. We can choose the periodicity. They keep changing, so other people also get an opportunity like that.
Okay.
Otherwise, primarily it is the HR head is a process owner.
Okay. Okay. So while administering and implementation, do you face any challenges while doing it?
The only challenge I see, Irene, is that some managers are very liberal in
Okay.
recommending for some awards. Some managers are not so liberal. They're a little rigid in that sense. So that's where the as a HR head and my committee plays a role to bring in the uniformity, to moderate things, to bring in uniformity. So that's the only challenge I see. Of course,
Okay.
there is a challenge of people misusing just to give a monetary benefit somebody recommends, but that's all gets moderated at the committee level.
Committee level. Okay. So with the present pandemic, is there any change in measures of allocating rewards or recognitions to the employees?
See, thankfully, in my own organization, we did not have a much of drastic impact of the COVID, the
Okay.
pandemic. So this really did not affect our own scheme, of rewards and recognition scheme. But rather, during the pandemic's few months, we had to close down operations. So apart from that, in fact, I tell you something. We just to compensate this kind of uh, pandemic situation. During the pandemic and during the tough times, there are few people who have come forward and worked in the office and factory. So
Mhm.
we did pay a separate COVID allowance,
Okay.
COVID bonus, whatever you call it. So
Okay.
that's also a sort of a recognition that we did. It's
Mhm.
over and above their salary. So just to motivate them, we did pay a COVID allowance.
Mhm.
So while there is a challenge of people coming forward to work, otherwise, see, there is a chance, there is an opportunity for people to apply for leave and tell them, no, we are not coming. But there are
Mhm.
people who take a risk and come. So to recognize that kind of little the proactiveness and braveness, we did consider kind of COVID bonus.
Okay. So at last, could you give any recommendations on how business can recognize hardworking employees more effectively?
I would only say, with all my experience, you must maintain consistency.
Mhm.
Okay, which means you have to continuously do these rewards and recognition. You can't afford to do, let's say, 6 months and then forget about next 6 months, or do it 1 year, next year you don't do. So people feel, some sort of, they don't respect such kind of inconsistency. So there are definitely, you need to ensure the consistency, number one. Number two, the HR has a major role in ensuring the fairness in the rewards and recognition. So as I said, one of the managers, some of the managers are very liberal.
Mhm.
So they recommend everybody, in every second person in the department, they want to recognize. There's internal competition. In my department got so many awards, and your department did not get any awards. Just
Mhm.
to compensate, they just for sake of recommending, they recommend. So that's where the HR plays a major role in bringing the fairness, and by moderating them. So I also use my veto power sometimes
Okay.
to say that no, yes, this cannot be done, uh, just only on the basis of fairness. So that's where the HR guys has to come into the picture and play the role to bring in the fairness. So the consistency, the fairness, as long as you practice these two principles, your the reward scheme will have a much bigger impact on your workforce.
Okay, thank you so much for answering all these questions and for even accepting my request and sparing your precious time to be a part of the interview. And thank you so much for the valuable insights that you have given. I do believe it would add value to my learning.